cut that money.
Something.
Cut the money. You want to save.
Yeah.
You want to save it. Cut it. Because you can't spend it if it's cut into pieces. That's for sure. What do you think?
Absolutely.
So we're joining them. What is it? Monday. It's a Monday. We're about 25 minutes late, give or take, which is that's about right.
A little late.
That's about right. It's the weather's fault.
It's always
I would
the
say.
weather's fault.
I would say it's the weather's fault today. But I mean, we had like tropical storm Lundy.
Yeah, rain.
Wait, aren't they all supposed to be females? Lindsay. Tropical storm Lindsay blew through out of nowhere last night, hitting the Raleigh area, blowing things around.
Yeah, so.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
What did it look like to you?
A lot of rain and a lot of wind.
Yeah, it was really nasty looking out the window.
Yeah.
All you'd see, hey, Miss Connie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
All you'd see was rain flow. It looked like a snowstorm. Actually, a tree almost fell on my father's house last night. Caught the side of the house, made a big mess. So not a fan of, there wasn't really a tropical storm, but it definitely looked like it hit the whole coast. So for anybody that's been affected or maybe had trees fall on their properties or businesses, get that one taken care of quick. So, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's not a way to do what we're talking about today. 6 tips to help make your business recession-proof. How to recession-proof your business. We have some really good advice for you guys. Let's just start, though, by framing this.
Is there a recession coming?
No, well, I've talked to people from a few different industries. Well, that's the thing is we kind of do. So I've spoken with some acquaintances of mine that work in the automotive industry, and he's giving me signs that the time for products to get to market and materials for manufacturing car parts is way down. So that indicates that those industries are doing well. The numbers are matching last year or greater. Another friend, excuse me, in the mortgage industry, I seem to have a lot of
always every time we
start to talk, it's like stage fright. I think I have stage fright.
No, every time. But yeah, we've talked to quite a few people, and just indications out there are very different than some of the news stories that we're hearing. And these are people that are actually in the industry looking at the numbers firsthand.
Right. Yeah. So we're trying to get people away from the scare media. We believe everything's okay. We've spoken to other people that seems like all of their different industries. Retail is still up from another acquaintance of mine. So, our industry looks like it's very consistent. Our last year comps, as far as our pet pros go, look good. So despite that, we're going to, do I really sound as bad as I feel like I sound right now?
No, not at all.
It's like, I feel like like an emphysemic or something. I'm going to let you talk.
It's not at all. So we're going to give you 6 tips to help make your business recession-proof. Whether we are going into a recession or times are just getting a little bit more tougher, these are 6 tips that you can use to help keep your business going. So I'll kick it off here. Number 1 is personalize your business to stand out from the crowd. Now, what does that mean? We're in a service business. Make sure you're providing the clients with good customer service so they have a reason to keep coming back to you.
I think magical customer service.
Yes.
Oh, no, there's no noise. Oh, there it is. You had to do the magic hands because there was no sound. I'm still learning how to use my board, guys.
So you want to focus on the customer satisfaction and invest your time into the customer themselves, because generally speaking, it typically costs more to gain a new client than to retain your current client.
Absolutely. And different industries are different as far as that goes. I know that it's very expensive in the software industry to cycle or onboard new clients. So we always try to hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on to what we've got. I'm just feeling wild tonight. I think it was the weather that came through. It's got me all riled up. You know how the dogs, I don't know if anybody, I do know a lot of other dogs do this, but they start running around crazy when the storm's coming. I think I do the same thing. So I don't know what that says about me.
Bill.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, we didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh, yes.
I am me. You or you? Let's keep going.
Lauren.
Okay,
yes, so forget the emails, forget the texts, and actually call your clients. It gives them that personal touch that they're looking for, and again, another reason to keep coming back to you.
Because you stand out. In modern day, we find a lot of companies are trying to go text only, whatever that means. It's really just creating one barrier between you and your client, so the relationship is that much more detached. I understand that it's easier to do that for some. I don't necessarily agree with
Well, it
text only,
depends, yeah.
but in order to keep away from that conversation, long story short, a 2-minute phone call might save you 20 minutes worth of typing with your thumbs in order to get both the task done and also then create that better relationship with your client.
Yeah, the client learns who you are, and then
Right.
you feel more of a friend to them, and they're more inclined to come back.
As
to
long
you.
as you're friendly.
As long as you're friendly.
I mean, because if you're not friendly, then have
They
someone
probably
else
won't
call.
want to.
That's why I send people to Lauren for support because, sometimes I got too much stuff going on. Sometimes. So we do that. But at any rate, that's, again, neither here nor there. That's number 2, schedule the client's next appointment before they leave. I'm a huge advocate for this because in my own grooming business, especially in mobile, I found that I was able to book clients, create a full 6-week packed schedule of clients that actually knew they had appointments with us by doing that. And it also reduces your amount of phone call volume. So we have a lot of times people will complain that they do text only. Let's loop that into that. They do text only because they don't want to sit on the phone. They don't have time for phone calls. Well, you won't need to make those phone calls if you use our technique number 2 and you book that next appointment while you're actually visiting the client.
So does that mean that they book their appointments out for the next 6 months?
That I definitely would not recommend because people forget about it. And especially during a tough time, you may need to space out their appointments a little bit longer than usual.
Absolutely. Yeah. So even if you require clients to stay on, like, let's say a 4 or 6 week schedule and times start to get a little tough, be a little bit more lenient. Maybe
Absolutely.
they might come every 8 weeks,
Right.
but you'll retain that client.
And yes, one appointment every 8 weeks is better than no appointments every no weeks.
Yes, absolutely.
0 weeks. I don't know.
The math works out.
It's the weather. Let's see. What else do we have here?
Keep your pricing consistent through
That's number
competitors'
3.
rising rates.
That's number 3 on the list.
Absolutely. Number 3. So everyone around is raising their prices. Learn what your baseline price is and keep it there.
Absolutely.
Do something against the grain. I mean, I know it's more, you're going to be more inclined to raise your prices because everyone else is. But if you keep them consistent, clients will likely keep coming to you instead of trying to shop somewhere else.
Correct, because there's a weird phenomenon that happens with people. When you raise your price, it will not work for them. They're furious. However, they'll go to another service that's charging that same price that you raised yours to. So if you were $55 and you raise it to $60, the clients they'll go crazy sometimes. I will not pay that.
Yes, exactly.
I said, Sam, what is that book? I said, Sam, I am. I
the
will not,
Dr.
green
Seuss.
eggs and ham.
Yes.
I will not pay that.
Yeah.
But then they'll go down the street and pay $60 to their next service provider. So that doesn't make any sense to me, but it does happen. And so what we recommend is keeping that price the same way, because if you're the lowest price, if only because you didn't raise your price, if you're the lowest price available, you'll end up seeing more volume, and that usually will offset your costs.
Absolutely. And then when things start even out, raise them. Raise them at that time.
Correct. And yes, and also,
If
I
you
mean,
want
you could raise them and then do a promotion, because the next section we're talking about is
That
doing
is true.
promotions.
Yes.
So promotions allow you to reduce your pricing if you needed to do so, like we did in the COVID times, which I guess we're still in. But when the COVID was really making impacts on business, use promotions to lower your price for people so that it makes it more easy, like much easier for them to pay for. I mean, if times are tough.
They might not be able to pay $80 for a groom, but I mean, maybe $60, and
Sure.
you can make $60 instead of being like, no, I'm not gonna lower it.
Correct.
80 or nothing.
And the word will get around. They'll tell you their
Yeah.
friends, so you end up gaining new clients, and let everyone know that, hey, we're still doing our special promotion. It's 20% off. Our price is now, whatever it was, 20% less.
It
And
could be temporary.
Right.
It could be just for a few weeks, a single month. It doesn't have to be for a long time.
yeah, I don't recommend doing the Kohl's where you raise the price.
Always raise your price and then
and then
always have
discount
a
it.
sale.
Yeah, because then it just cheapens the product. So, but at any rate, promotions help you to lower your price for clients temporarily, and they won't have as much rejection, we find, when you go back to your normal pricing. So
That's true.
That's the best way to do
because
that.
they understand it's a temporary price cut.
Absolutely. And my favorite one is distribute your client base by gaining new clients through service personalization. Widely distributed clients.
Yep. Don't put all your eggs in one
In one
basket.
basket. That's the phrase. We're full of phrases today. I'm telling you, the weather.
Stir things up.
You
in
must
the
be part
office.
dog too. It's like that movie Spaceballs with the what's the guy's name? Arf. I think his name was actually Arf.
Yes. Is that?
Yeah, and he had it was John Candy. He had
Yes.
the tail and everything. He was always a blast. I really enjoyed that. So I totally lost track of what I was saying. Okay, so distributing your client list across more clients makes you more prone to be able to retain income. So the goal is always to retain as much income as possible. When you raise prices, you're pushing people away, especially people that might be having a hard time paying as it is. When you lower prices, it obviously makes it much easier. So it also makes you more attractive to a wider base of clientele. When you get that wider base, if one family has a hard time, they lose their job or something happens,
it doesn't impact you as much.
Whereas if you're charging $200 for a groom and you lose that one client that you had on every 4 weeks, that's a major impact.
Absolutely.
So I like to say to distribute your clientele, lower your prices, gain more clients, and then as the difficult times are like ending, you can slowly ramp your price back up and go back to normal price. And now guess what happened? The side effect is you now have a higher gross income than you had before the events started taking place.
Because you have more clients.
And you accommodated, right? Yeah. And people enjoy that. They'll find you, because at the beginning of COVID, I didn't understand how bad this was going to be. And I didn't work with people. I'm going to admit that. Straight out of the gate, I didn't get it. And I didn't understand that it would be 2 years worth of impacts. And I was definitely wrong in that and not working sooner to adjust my prices to match the needs of the clientele out there. But obviously a few conversations with some clients that made some really good points, like opened my eyes. I was like, yeah, this is really bad. Like people are struggling right now. We need to do something to help them.
Absolutely. Because I mean, we were like, our prices didn't change here.
Correct.
Software,
yeah.
so
Your costs stay the same.
Exactly.
So it gets a little tighter, but that goes back to what was that number 3, keeping your pricing consistent, figure out how much you need to make, and then cut it down as far as you can take it until it starts to get a little uncomfortable and sit there because you'll still be able to retain your clients, still sell them services, still make a profit and live.
Yes.
And everyone wins because you don't go out of business and they can still get their service.
That's the point. Yeah. So, I mean, it might cut into your revenue just a little bit, but it's better
But it's hard times. It's
revenue.
better than having no revenue. I mean, I would take $20 for my $50 service before I'd take $0.
Absolutely.
And then I'd lose that client.
To keep in mind.
Yeah. Because they don't come back with that. And so, like I said, I'm hoping that this conversation can help you guys have a much shorter time towards taking action than it took me at the beginning of COVID. Because that ended up being catastrophic. It
was a lot worse than we all anticipated.
Yeah, it was. And we don't see that happening now. I mean, you're going to see a lot of news currently about mortgage crises and this and that, but do a little bit more research, dig through that, and you'll see that there is none. The price of mortgages has just returned to its standard default value.
Yeah, and I mean, what are they comparing it to when the
mortgage
market was crazy?
Yeah, the rates. I saw an article just the other day. The rates are up 2% or 3%. They've doubled since 2021. But in 2021, the thing they forget to tell you is
extremely low.
That's the lowest it's ever been. So we're going back to the normal mortgage rates, and there wasn't any suspect spending. And this is a whole nother topic. But
absolutely,
back in the housing crisis in the 08, 09 through forever, it seems like back then. The banks were giving out all these loans to people that actually could not afford them. They would you sign your name on it and there you go. Like there's the keys. Yeah. And that's what really led to the collapse. We don't have that going on. There's so much like legislation that prevents that the mortgage crisis would be the biggest thing to affect us. But I've done my research. I spoke with someone that works directly in lending for a major bank, and none of those signs are there. Everything looks good, but we're trying to get this to you to try to help just in case it goes some other way. So you're up next. Let's see.
So number 4, focus on your specialties and high margin services. So what does that mean? If you have a service that only costs you, let's say, $10 to provide with like the shampoo and labor and things like that, focus on that. If you have a service that is nail caps and it's not selling very much and it's $25 for you to give that service and you make $5 off of that.
Yeah, correct. So that's a low margin item. And so there's many high margin items.
Don't focus on that.
Yeah. So you're going to move over to the things that cost you the least amount of time or money and gain you the most amount of revenue. Yes. And those are also be the things that you can actually discount the most. So very helpful in order to do that. So if you have, my example that I like to use is if you have let's just say you have Chihuahuas. Let's say you can bathe a Chihuahua in 10 minutes and you earn $20 off of that versus, like a Shih Tzu or something that takes you an hour to just bathe and dry, let's say. We're not trying to be accurate here. This is just for example. And you earn $50 from that. If you did 6 Chihuahuas at $20, that's $120 that you'd make doing Chihuahuas in an hour versus the $50 that you made on the Shih Tzu in an hour. So the two are very distinctly different as far as the cost of time, and the income generated. So focus more on the things that earn you the most and take the least amount of time, or the products that cost you the least with the highest markup, creating the highest margin.
Yeah. And that can go right back into, what number was it? Number 3, I
Well,
think.
keeping your pricing consistent, number 3.
Yeah, where you can do promotions. So if you know you have a high margin, or like a service where you can gain a lot of money from in a short amount of time, throw a promotion out there. If you
do more.
book this week.
Hey, do more. That's my favorite saying. Do more.
more.
We should have just put
Do
that
better,
in.
do
This should
more.
be number 3. Hey, number 3, my New York is coming out. I'm trying to reel it in, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just focus on that. Throw a promotion. Hey, I'll give you 10% off if you book your Chihuahua this week.
Right.
Try to get more services.
Because
in.
Chihuahuas make the money.
Yeah.
Chihuahuas make the money.
Going to like the nail cap example,
Right.
you don't have to cut it out forever. Maybe cut it out for the meantime, and then when things start to stabilize, bring it back in.
Well, yeah, because with nail caps, you have inventory, and with inventory, you have latent depreciating costs, and that's not good.
Yeah.
You want to get that out of there. Anything that you have inventory-wise, I recommend just liquidating.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you bought it for $4 for a shampoo, sell it for like $4.10 or something like that, and just get it out, because that money back in your account does more for you than
The
that
inventory sitting there.
bottle of shampoo
with the
that's
possibility of selling
that's
it
going dusty. I mean,
sometime.
we've all worked in salons, let's say, because we're talking about shampoos.
Yeah.
And they look a little fuzzy on the top after a while.
When they sit there, yeah.
And nobody wants
Especially
to
if you
spend.
don't clean up.
Yeah, you got to get those out. Regardless, that's a standard business, but especially if there's tough times. So, excuse me. Number 5, boost savings accounts to offset reductions in revenue. This is one of the things that's super cool. A lot of times people will just run until they have nothing left and then use up all their savings, and that's the end of it. But what I recommend is start saving now. I'll always start saving now, and have enough extra backup money in your savings account to supplement any reductions in income. So if your income reduces by $500 this month due to some hard time,
Take it out of savings.
move $500 from savings into your checking account to offset that, so that your income remains. I mean, if you need the 500, if you don't, then who cares? Just roll with it. Once you start needing more income, when you've gone below your sustainability threshold, move some savings over, smooth out that curve, so it doesn't just go, hey, we're doing great. Oh, we're not doing so good, and then we're.
Exactly.
Do I have a splat here?
I don't think so.
I have this.
Yeah.
I love this board, guys. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. So the savings
Exactly.
will help you to smooth out that curve and sustain, and you'll see your accounts staying like nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good
so
word
it won't
for it.
go from, let's say, 100 to 0.
Right, and then
just
savings is at
100,
$10,000
90.
or $5,000, and it goes then $3,000 and $2,000, and now I have no savings and I have no income, and
Yeah.
your mental state during that process would be much more diminished than if you just took 200, 300, 400 from savings each month that goes along. Savings is still looking good. Business income still looks pretty good. We're doing okay, and I think that's kind of the moral of the story here is the mental state of the population, of our people and of people in general, is one of the biggest detriments to the overall economy.
Yeah,
People get. So what I'm saying is, because I speak in tongues sometimes, what I'm saying is people get scared, stop spending, and then everything starts collapsing. Basically, is what happens. So when people are not scared, they're not going to stop spending, and then they'll keep coming to your business, which keeps you going to other businesses, which keeps everything right.
Yeah.
And the way you remove that panic is to not have any drastic situations happen. Slowly reduce the cost of your services. Figure out how low you can go. I mean, that's the moral of what we're saying. Supplement your reductions in income with savings.
So what is
No
a
fear.
what is a good amount to have in savings for business expenses, business costs?
That's crazy. 'Cause if you talk to someone like Dave Ramsey, he's like, you want a 2 years worth of
realistic amount. Let's say
2
that.
years worth of mortgage payments and 62 months worth of business expenses. I mean, it comes down to what can you sustain? Like, what can you endure? How low can your account get before you start that fear that I was just talking about?
I would say the goal is probably like 3 months, give or take, 2 or 3 months. I would say
It's
just
hard.
a goal.
That's
but
hard for a lot, and it might
Yeah.
take you. It may take you a year or two to get to the point where you have that much.
Yeah.
Just shuck away a
but
little
it's
bit each time.
something to shoot for. at
Absolutely.
least,
And when
yeah.
you do have that, everything gets very much easier, because if times
Yeah.
are tough for 2 months, I mean, you're fine because you were supplementing.
And then you have 2 months to figure out what to do to boost your revenue.
Exactly, where you can reevaluate your costs and do a little bit better.
Yeah,
And that's it.
absolutely.
All right, number 6.
So number 6, audit your current marketing plan, looking for ways to reduce costs while continuing to achieve results similar to what you had previously. So
Yes.
what does that mean?
No, that's a lot.
As far as advertising, cut costs in advertising by maybe bringing down your Google ads or your Facebook ads, but do something else. If you're a mobile business, park your mobile van at a grocery store, or Walmart, or Target.
Yeah, that should be your main vehicle during hard times.
Yeah, park it somewhere. Leave it there for just like a few hours.
I would just take it everywhere. I mean, you go to
Well,
dinner,
yeah,
drive, you get the family, stick them in the back. I mean, well, I guess it's not legal to put kids in the back of a grooming van, but
use it on the
if you
grooming
have
table.
kids, if you don't have kids, then yes, just take your partners and go shopping.
Yeah, but park it
That's the best
somewhere.
way.
I mean, that's your van and your trailer. That is your best form of advertisement in itself.
Yeah, and so if you're doing that, I recommend generating one of those square barcodes, the QR codes, stick it on the side of your van.
Yeah.
People can walk by and scan it with their phone and get all of your information.
Yeah.
That's super useful. But the best thing, I think, it goes all the way back to number 1, personalize your business. Get friendly.
Clients.
Talk to people. I mean, you might be uncomfortable with this. I know people are increasingly getting more socially avoidant. Like a phone call for people, their hands are like shaking, like say, get comfortable with getting personal and you'll create that connection. I know for sure that I would be in the grocery store, the local Food Lion or Harris Teeter or something, and clients would be coming in and talking to me while I'm standing in line. Like you can meet new clients
that way. Yeah.
just standing in line at the grocery store.
Yep. Hold a pack of business cards. Hand them out to people you see with dogs.
Oh, branded clothes. We didn't talk about that. Put your logo or something on your on your work clothes.
Or even use your current clients. Offer referral programs. If they bring in a client, they save $5, and the person they bring in saves $5.
Throw them a muffin.
Something. Yeah.
Give them a chocolate chip cookie or a muffin. Next time you show up, I'm actually serious. People like that stuff.
Yeah,
I like it. You give me a muffin, I'm having a good day.
I love food, so of course.
Oh yeah, bring them.
But I mean, if you
in the grooming van with the hair swirling around.
Maybe don't bring muffins.
I don't know about food, guys. I'm sorry for the hair salons, the trainers, everybody else. You can keep the muffins away from the whirlwinds of hair. But I just remember picking like when especially when you do like a golden.
Everywhere.
It's like it gets stuck. At least for
like
guys,
it
gets
nose,
stuck
in your eyes,
like on your face,
your eyebrows.
It's
yeah,
like scrape it off the sides and like try to.
But yeah, I mean, use your clients for a referral, and then if you're doing our number 1, personalizing your business, they will want to tell other people about you.
Right. And it's important. Actually, that's one of the reasons, one of the motivations that spawned this podcast was there's a lot of like cloak and dagger stuff out there about Puffinity and Big Bad Bill being mean to people and stuff. So this was one of our ways to walk the walk of what we're telling you guys, get more personal. I tried to stay in the background, just like the people that do text only businesses. That's why I can't say anything about them. I tried to stay in the background. I didn't want my face out there. It should be about the software and that's it. I wasn't trying to get popular. I wasn't trying to be an influencer or fancy pants or anything like that. But by doing that,
people took advantage of it.
People from other companies took advantage of my kind of invisibility in the background. So you want to make sure that you're visible and people know who you really are so you can connect with them and no one else can make up stories of interesting events taking place. Let's leave it there. So the other part I do want to go back to digital marketing. Make sure that you don't remove all of your ability to onboard or to attract new clients by removing marketing. What instead I would prefer is that you take high cost, low efficiency services like Facebook marketing and switch them with more like higher efficiency like Google AdWords.
Yeah.
Because the Facebook marketing,
the numbers are deceiving. So yes, it will get to a bunch of people.
You'll get 10,000 views and like 5 million clicks.
And interactions and stuff, and you'll think that it's great, but what is the quality of those
lead.
clicks?
They're very poor. And we did some testing. And what did you find with that?
A ton of testing where I narrowed it down to a certain area, and I was having people outside of that area liking the posts, liking the ads.
Outside of the country even.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're a local business using Facebook, so Facebook's, keep in mind, and this is going to be covered in a different one, but just to summarize, because we are talking about it, keep in mind that the goal of the advertising platform, Facebook, Google, is first themselves. They're trying to create revenue for themselves. Then second or tertiarily, they're looking to help you.
Yeah,
so
that's true, yeah.
They're trying to get those clicks because it makes them more money, not necessarily you. So you have to be very careful and look at how effective and how targeted your advertising is, which we'll talk about more.
Oh, I got 10,000 views on this and 7,000 clicks. Of course this is doing good. I'm going to throw it a few $100 more. But what's the quality of those clicks?
Right.
Who are they showing it to? Or did you get any leads from that? If you got one appointment out of 7,000 clicks, it's not giving you quality leads.
Absolutely. And because it was just money being wasted. So that's part of the audit of your marketing that we're referring to.
It doesn't have to be paid advertising too. You can do fun backgrounds or tag clients in pictures.
Am I that far out of touch with social media? What's a background?
So what you do is you take a picture of the dog in front of a seasonal background. So for like Labor Day, you can do like a flag in the back and just share those pictures on your social media, because then your clients will want to share them as well.
Oh, people love that.
Yeah,
so, but
Christmas
with
time,
that,
bring Santa in, things like that.
we should probably do another episode
do a
on
whole
marketing.
Yes, absolutely.
But since we're here and we're talking about it, I just realized that I've seen a lot of those from our clients, and the one thing that's missing, guys, is like
branding.
the branding.
Yes.
Like make a sign inside there, or either superimpose it.
Throw your logo on there.
Actually, Carrie's very good at this. She always
does. She puts BGE.
Rock on, Carrie.
Yeah.
She's got this under control. She has like a whole thing that goes around her pictures and all that.
Yeah, but put your logo in,
get
your
your
phone
logo.
number.
Right.
Like
so people know who it
simple.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when your clients share it and then all their 600 friends see it, they see who their groomer is.
And that's local marketing. That's a fantastic idea. Yeah. Do what she says. All right. I think we've wrapped this up. I think we did a good job not keeping it too long today. I think it was fun. Hopefully we get more weather next week so we can then be fun again, because this could get a bit dry. Okay. Let me see. I had to do it. What, you want sparkles?
Sparkles.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll give you some magic. Okay. All right, that's enough of that. We're all done for the day, I think. So
hopefully some of these tips help boost your revenue in tough times.
Absolutely. And catch us next week.
Next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
And sayonara. That was goodbye, wasn't it?
Yes.